The sterile beep of the monitor flatlined like a gunshot in my chest, and I froze in the doorway, coffee spilling from my trembling hand onto the linoleum floor. Jordan, my Jordan. The man I just labeled Heartless in some stupid BuzzFeed quiz over takeout pizza last night was elbow-deep in blood. His gloved hands steady as he compressed the chest of a kid who couldn't have been older than 15, screaming orders at the nurses like a goddamn warrior god. "Clear," he barked. Defibrillator paddles arcing blue lightning across the boy's rain-soaked shirt. And in that split second, as the heart jolted back to life under his touch, I realized I'd never truly known the man I loved. It started innocently enough. The way these things always do in New York, cramped in our Brooklyn walk-up. The kind of place where the radiator clanks like it's got its own personality disorder, and the skyline peeks through fire escapes like a nosy neighbor. Jordan and I had been together for 2 years. Ever since that rainy night at the Stonewall Inn where he'd bought me a drink after I'd spilled my guts about coming out to my conservative family back in Ohio. He was everything I wasn't: tall, broad-shouldered, with that effortless Midwestern charm wrapped in a white coat from his residency at Mount Sinai. Our doctor by day, my anchor by night. Or so I thought. We were sprawled on the sagging couch that night, remnants of greasy slices from Luigi's scattered on the coffee table, my laptop balanced precariously on Jordan's knee. I'd been scrolling mindlessly, the kind of late-night doom scrolling that hits after a 12-hour shift at the graphic design firm downtown, endless revisions for some Tech Bros app logo that looked like a rejected emoji. "Hey," I'd said, nudging him with my socked foot. "Want to do this quiz? What does your partner's zodiac sign say about your sex life?" Wait, this one's better. "How well do you know your boyfriend? It'll be fun." Jordan had chuckled. That low rumble that always made my stomach flip, and ruffled my hair like I was some kid brother instead of his boyfriend. "You know me better than I know myself. But sure, hit me with it. Just don't cry when I ace it." The questions started light. Favorite movie? The Shawshank Redemption? Duh. Go to coffee order, black. No sugar. Because life's sweet enough. Dream vacation, a cabin in the Adirondacks? Away from the chaos. I nailed those, typing with a smug grin. Then it got personal. "What's the one thing that makes him cry?" Jordan had paused, fork midway to his mouth with a cold slice of pepperoni. "Easy. That ASPCA commercial with the Sarah McLachlan song. Gets me every time." I laughed, remembering how he'd buried his face in my shoulder last Christmas, ugly sobbing over a shelter puppy adoption ad. But then came the curveball. In a crisis, does he panic and call for help? Take charge like a hero? C. Shut down emotionally? Jordan shrugged, wiping sauce from his chin. B. Obviously. I'm the doctor here. I selected it, but something nagged at me, memories of the times he'd come home from shifts hollow-eyed, collapsing into bed without a word, leaving me to piece together the ghosts of patients lost. "Okay," I muttered. "Last one. On a scale of heartless to hopeless romantic, what's his vibe?" He leaned over, planting a kiss on my temple, his stubble scratching just right. "Hopeless romantic. All the way. Especially for you, Alex." But the quiz, that fickle algorithm of clickbait, spat out its verdict after I hit submit. "Heartless. Your boyfriend's got ice in his veins, practical to a fault. But where's the fire?" I stared at the screen, the cartoon ice cube winking mockingly. Jordan snatched the laptop, squinting. "What the hell? That's bullshit." I'm not heartless. His voice had an edge, sharp like the scalpel he wielded daily, and I laughed it off. But the seed was planted. Come on. It's just a quiz. But seriously, Jord? Sometimes it feels like you're a million miles away. Et pour mij sous laut. And you just nod. The air thickened. The radiators hissed, the only sound breaking the silence. He set the laptop down, his blue eyes narrowing. Alex, I'm saving lives all day. Trauma bays, gunshot wounds, kids ODing on fentanyl in the projects. You think I don't feel it? That I don't drag it home? I flinched, the words hitting like a slap. We'd danced around this before, my artist's heart-craving poetry and pillow talk. His surgeon's soul armored against the world's brutality. I know, I whispered, reaching for his hand. But I need you to let me in. Not just the hero, the man. He pulled away, standing abruptly, grabbing his keys from the hook by the door. I need air. Don't wait up. The door clicked shut behind him, leaving me with the glow of the screen and a gnawing ache that quizzes couldn't quantify. That was Thursday. By Friday morning, the fight had simmered into awkward texts, me apologizing with a heart emoji, him replying with a thumbs up and long shift ahead. Love you. I threw myself into work, sketching logos that blurred into abstract hearts cracked down the middle. My cubicle mate Sarah shooting me concerned glances over her kale smoothie. Rough night with the BF? She'd asked. And I'd shrugged it off with a joke about BuzzFeed's reign of terror. But inside, doubt festered. Was he really heartless? Or was I the one too fragile for his world? Evening found me wandering the East Village. Neon signs buzzing like angry hornets. The scent of street falafel and exhaust thick in the autumn chill. I ended up at our usual spot, McSorley's, nursing a cream ale in the sawdust-strewn floor, replaying the quiz in my head. That's when my phone buzzed, not Jordan's usual check-in, but a call from an unknown number. Alex Harper? A woman's voice, clipped and urgent. This is Nurse Ramirez from Mount Sinai R. Your boyfriend? Jordan Hale. He's been in an accident. Pedestrian hit and run on the FDR. You need to come now. The world tilted. The pint glass shattering on the bar as I bolted out the door, hailing a cab through tears that blurred the taillights into red streaks. Hit and run. Jordan. My unbreakable Jordan, crumpled under tires on a rain-slicked highway. The cab ride was eternity compressed, horns blaring. The driver muttering prayers in Spanish. My heart hammering a frantic Morse code of please don't die. By the time we screeched up to the ER entrance, the rain had turned biblical, soaking me to the bone as I sprinted through sliding doors. Chaos greeted me, gurneys rattling, monitors wailing, the metallic tang of blood and antiseptic clawing at my throat. I flashed my ID at the desk, voice cracking. Jordan Hale, where is he? The receptionist. A harried woman with a name tag reading Tina glanced up, her face softening. Bay 7. But honey, he's the one working tonight. Wait, what? My brain short-circuited. What do you mean? Working? He was hit. She waved me off, pointing down the hall. Go see for yourself. And tell him to sign out before he collapses. I stumbled forward, past curtained cubicles where strangers writhed in pain, until I reached the trauma bay. And there he was. not as a patient, but as the eye of the storm. Scrubs splattered with what I prayed was not his blood, barking orders at a team of residents. Feet on the table, tubes snaking from his arms, had flatlined moments before, but now his chest rose in shallow breaths. Jordan's hands the miracle workers. Push AP. 1 mil. Get me the chest tube kit, now. His voice was steel, unyielding, but his eyes. His eyes held a fire I'd never seen. The desperate, soul-bearing plea to cheat death one more time. I backed into the wall, the coffee I'd grabbed from the machine sloshing hot over my fingers, but I didn't feel it. This was Jordan, not the distant lover who'd walked out last night, but a man wrestling angels in the fluorescent glare. Heartless? The word tasted like ash now. A joke turned indictment. How many nights had he come home like this? Hollowed out? And I'd mistaken exhaustion for indifference? He spotted me then, mid-stride, his face crumpling for a heartbeat before the mask snapped back. Alex? What the fuck are you doing here? He crossed the bay in 3 strides, pulling me into a supply closet that smelled of gauze and despair, the door clicking shut like a confessional. Nurse called, "You're okay?" I left. A broken, hysterical sound, tears carving hot paths down my cheeks. Me? Jesus? Jordan? I thought you were dying. Hit and run, his arms crushed around me, solid and warm. The first real touch since the fight. It wasn't me. Some intern, Ricky, got clipped on his by commuting in. I was already here, pulling a double. The call must have glitched. He pulled back, thumbs brushing my tears, his own eyes red-rimmed. I'm sorry about last night. The quiz. It hit too close. After losing that patient yesterday, a drag queen from the village. Overdose, I just couldn't let you see. The pieces clicked, the ghost in his gaze, the walls he built not to shut me out, but to keep the carnage from spilling over. You're not heartless, I whispered, fisting his scrubs. You're a fucking hero. And I love you for it, all of it. He kissed me then, fierce and claiming, tasting of mint gum and the faint copper of blood. The world outside fading to white noise. But as his pager buzzed, another code blew, we broke apart. The reality crashing back. Stay, he murmured, forehead to mine. Watch me save them. Then I'll come home and let you save me. I nodded, slipping back into the hall, perching on a plastic chair amid the symphony of suffering. That night, as Jordan fought for strangers' hearts, I began to mend my own, understanding that love in this city, in this life, wasn't quizzes or quiet nights, but showing up in the storm, bloodied and unbroken. There never sleeps. A beast with 1,000 eyes glowing under harsh halogens. And I sat there for hours, a voyeur to Jordan's war. He moved like poetry in prose, efficient, brutal, tender, stitching wounds that mirrored the ones I'd inflicted with careless words. The kid from earlier, Jamal, stabilized enough for ICU. His mom's sobs turning to shaky gratitude as Jordan assured her, "He's a fighter, ma'am." Just like you. I watched from the shadows, chest tight with a mix of pride and shame, the quiz's verdict echoing like a bad echo. By 2 a.m., the rush ebbed, and Jordan slumped beside me in the break room, peeling off gloves with hands that trembled now the adrenaline had fled. Coffee? He offered, pouring from a pot that looked as exhausted as we felt. No sugar, his ritual against the dark. Etiquette. Our fingers brushing. And for the first time, I saw the map of his battles. Faint scars from a knife fight in med school rotations. Calluses from endless compressions. Tell me about her, I said softly. The drag queen, she said, leaning back against the vending machine, the hum a low underscore to his words. Lila LaRue. Real name Marcus. Came in seizing. Track marks up his arms like war paint. Fentanyl-laced coke, happens too often in the clubs. His voice cracked. Just once. He was performing at therapy that night. Slaying Vogue, in a sequin gown. Woke up long enough to ask if his wig survived. I lied, said it did. A ghost of a smile. We talked RuPaul while I intubated him. He coded. Couldn't bring him back. The weight of it settled between us. Heavier than the rain pattering the window. Why didn't you tell me? Beth. Not accusing. Just aching. Because you're my safe place. Alex. The one spot without death. But bottling it. That's what the quiz saw. The armor. He reached for my hand. Lacing our fingers. I'm not heartless. I'm terrified. Of losing them. Of losing you to this shit. I squeezed back. The warmth seeping into the cold knot in my gut. Then don't bottle. Let me carry some. We're a team. But like in that stupid Shawshank, crawl through the sewer together. Genuine this time. Pulling me into his lap on the creaky vinyl chair. Deal. But first, get me out of here. Shift ends at 6. But I can't wait. His lips found my neck. A trail of fire that made me forget the bleach-scented air. The distant cries. We made out like teenagers. Hands roaming under scrubs and hoodies. A stolen oasis in the desert of duty. When his pager silenced for a blessed 10 minutes, he whispered promises against my skin, dinner at that hole-in-the-wall dim someplace in Chinatown, then home to our bed, where I'd trace his scars with my tongue until he forgot the ghosts. Dawn crept in gray and grudging, the city stirring with delivery trucks and early joggers along the East River. I dozed fitfully on that chair, waking to Jordan's gentle shake. Home. Let's blow this joint. We cab back to Brooklyn. The driver blasting old-school Jay-Z. Windows fogged with our breath. In the apartment, sunlight slanted through the blinds like golden fingers. And we collapsed into bed, clothes shedding like old skin. He was lazy. That morning, his head on my chest, my fingers carting through his damp hair, the scent of hospital soap mingling with our sweat. Remember our first date? I murmured, tracing the line of his jaw. Stonewall. That trivia night. You knew every queer history fact, and I spilled beer on your lap trying to impress you with my Madonna impression. He snorted, nuzzling closer. Vogue was a solid 8. But yeah, I knew then, you were it. The one who'd make me laugh after a shift from hell. His hands slid lower. Possessive. Igniting sparks. Love you, Alex. Quiz be damned. We made love slow and deep. Bodies speaking what words fumbled. Forgiveness in every thrust. Vulnerability in gasps. Afterward, tangled in sheets that smelled of us, I confessed the deeper fear, the quiz. It tapped into something. It was all flash. No substance. Left me for a straight phase in Cali. I guess I worry you'll wake up one day. See, I'm not enough. The artist chasing dreams while you're out there changing the world. Jordan propped on an elbow. Eyes fierce. Enough? You're my world. Alex. The ER's the job. You're the heartbeat. He kissed me, sealing it. And for a while, the doubt retreated. But New York has a way of testing vows, like the subway rats that always find the crumbs. That afternoon, as Jordan napped off his double, my phone lit up with a text from an unknown. Hey Alex. It's Chris from the firm. Saw Jordan at the gala last month. Hot dog. Right? We should grab drinks. He gave me your winking face. Attached was a photo, Jordan. Arms slung around Chris's shoulders at some black tie fundraiser. Both laughing. Champagne flutes raised. My stomach plummeted. Chris, blonde. Both. The new account exec with a gym selfie for every Insta story. I'd met him once. At the holiday party, where he'd lingered too long, complimenting my creative energy. And Jordan. Giving out my number? The pieces twisted. The late nights. The networking events. The way he'd brushed off my insecurities with, "You're overthinking." I stared at the screen, heart-hammering betrayal's rhythm, until Jordan stirred. Babe? What's wrong? He sat up, sleepy-eyed. But I thrust the phone at him. Voice steel. Explain this. His face drained of color. Scrolling the thread. Alex. It's nothing. Chris is a colleague. Donor for the hospital's LGBTQ youth program. The gala was for that. I gave him your number because he mentioned a design gig for their flyers. Swear. But the doubt. That insidious whisper. Latched on. Colleague? From what? You've been distant? And now this. I stood, yanking on jeans. The room closing in. Maybe the quiz was right. Heartless enough to play both sides. He reached for me, but I shrugged him off. Storming to the living room, the door slamming like a guillotine. The fire escape rattled under my feet as I lit a cigarette. Bad habit from stress days, staring at the skyline that suddenly felt like a cage. Betrayal? Or paranoia? The line blurred in the haze. Hours later, as dusk bled into night, my phone buzzed again. Not Chris, but Sarah. Emergency at work, client meltdown. Need you now. I grabbed my jacket, texting Jordan a curt, out. Talk later, and bolted for the F train. The design firm was in Midtown, a glass tower of egos and deadlines, and by the time I arrived, the meltdown was a full-blown pitch disaster, logos scrapped. The tech bros screaming over Zoom about brand misalignment. I threw myself into it, sketching feverishly on my tablet, caffeine-fueled fury sharpening my lines. Sarah clapped my shoulder at midnight. Hero save. Alex. You're a wizard. But as I packed up, exhaustion crashing, my phone lit with Jordan's texts. Please come home. I love you. It's not what you think. The subway ride home was a blur of fluorescent flickers and strangers' stares. My reflection in the window a ghost, hollow cheeks. Eyes shadowed. Betrayal tasted bitter. But so did regret. By the time I keyed into the apartment, Jordan was pacing, hair disheveled, a glass of whiskey untouched on the table. Alex, he started, but I cut him off. Show me your phone. It was ugly, invasive, but the wound demanded proof. He handed it over without protest. Password my birthday, trust? We're trapped. I scrolled messages. Chris? Innocuous work chatter. The number share with a note. Alex is a genius designer. Hit him up for the campaign. No sex. No secrets. Just a man building bridges in a city of islands. Relief flooded. Chased by shame. I'm sorry, I choked. Sinking to the floor. Tyler fucked me up. Made me see shadows everywhere. Jordan knelt, pulling me close. His embrace a lifeline. I know. But I'm not him. And you're not broken. We cried then. Raw and unfiltered. The dam breaking on 2 years of unspoken fears. No more walls, he vowed. Full disclosure, Galapix. All of it. Dawn found us on the couch. Takeout forgotten. Planning. Therapy for me. Date nights carved from chaos. A weekend away to the Catskills where cell service died and hearts mended. Wasn't effortless, it was CPR on a flat line. Breaths forced when lungs failed. But fate, that cruel curator, had one more twist. 2 weeks later, mid-October, the city turned crisp with falling leaves and the promise of Halloween haunts. Jordan's shift started normal, flu shots for the homeless at the Bowery Mission. A fender bender in triage, but then the call came, mass casualty. A subway derailment at Union Square. Third rail sparking fires. Commuters trapped in twisted metal. He texted me at noon, bad one. Love you, stay safe. I tried calling. Lines jammed. My mind spinning worst cases. By evening, news helicopters thumped overhead. Screens at the bar where I waited with Sarah blaring footage, mangled cars, smoke billowing, first responders clawing through wreckage. Dozens injured, the anchor intoned. ER's overwhelmed. I couldn't breathe. Hailing a cab to Mount Sinai, rain lashing like accusations, I burst into the ER, a ghost of myself. Nurses swarmed, directing me to a corner. Doc Hale's in surgery. Alex. He's leading the team. Surgery? For mass trauma? Hours blurred into a vigil, pacing halls lined with gurneys, holding hands of strangers whose worlds had shattered. A woman clutched my arm. Her son pinned under beams. Will he make it? I lied gentle lies, echoing Jordan's grace. Until finally, at 4 a.m., he emerged, scrubs shredded, face streaked with soot and tears, but whole. Alex. My name was a prayer on his lips as he collapsed into me. The weight of 20 souls saved and 5 lost crushing down. It was hell. Electrocutions. Crush injuries. I held a guy's hand while he broke. Sobs racking that unbreakable frame. I held him. The ER fading to our bubble. You saved them. You're my hero, always were. In that moment, Heartless was a myth. A quiz's folly. He was life itself. Veins pumping compassion I'd been blind to. We stumbled home at sunrise. The city hushed in post-storm glow. And in our bed, we clung like survivors. No words needed, just skin on skin. Breath sinking. Love a quiet revolution against the dark. Winter crept in like an uninvited guest, frosting the Brooklyn brownstones and turning breaths to visible ghosts on our stoop. Jordan and I rebuilt, brick by vulnerable brick, weekly check-ins over diner pancakes, where he'd unpack shift horrors and I'd spill freelance anxieties, Couples counseling in a cozy Chelsea office. The therapist, a silver-haired dyke with a no bullshit vibe, guiding us through the minefield of love languages and trauma bonds. It wasn't perfect. Arguments flared like faulty wiring over forgotten anniversaries or my jealousy spikes at hospital mixers, but we fought fair, ending in laughter or lust. Never silence. Christmas loomed. That fraught holiday laced with my Ohio ghosts. My folks. Still whispering prayers for my phase over pot roast. Had thought enough for a card, proud of you. Son, Jordan 2. But flying home felt like stepping into a time capsule of plaid shirts and passive aggression. Jordan sensed it, booking us a cabin in the Poconos instead, snow-dusted pines. A fireplace crackling like applause. No cell service to summon family drama. We drove up on the 23rd. U-Haul stuffed with ornaments and his secret recipe eggnog, spiked. Naturally. The cabin was a postcard, log walls. A loft bed overlooking a frozen lake. Fairy lights twinkling against icicles. Merry fucking Christmas, Jordan grinned, scooping me up the threshold in a bridal carry, our laughter echoing off beams. That night, after mulled wine and a feast of roast duck, my attempt? Slightly charred but heroic. We decorated a lopsided spruce he'd chopped himself, axe work making his forearms flex in ways that distracted me from tinsel duty. Tradition, he said, hanging a glittery icicle. My mom used to make us do this in Iowa. Cornfields for miles. But the tree made it magic. I paused, bauble in hand, struck by how little I knew of his before us. Tell me more. The kid Jordan, baseball mitts and bonfires. He leaned against the mantel, firelight gilding his profile. Yeah. Dad was a vet. Stern but fair, taught me to fix engines before I could drive. She was the heart. Died when I was 16. Cancer. That's why I couldn't save her. But damn if I don't try for everyone else. The vulnerability hit like a gut punch. Explaining the armor. The distance. I crossed to him, cupping his face. I'm sorry. But you saved me. That night at Stonewall. When I was drowning in cheap gin and family fallout, you saw me. His kiss was slow. Reverent. Evolving into heat as we tumbled to the rug. Pine needles pricking skin like stars. We made love by firelight. Bodies a canvas of rediscovery. His hands mapping my freckles. My lips tracing his scars. Whispers of mine and forever sealing the night. Boxing Day brought snow angels and sledding fails. Jordan whooping as we careened down hills. My screams dissolving into giggles. But on the drive back, New Year's Eve traffic clogging the thruway. My phone, miraculously with spotty bars, pinged, a voicemail from Chris. Hey, Alex, quick follow-up on that design pitch. Jordan said you're slammed, but if you can squeeze in a meet, coffee at Le Pain. Tomorrow 10. Innocent? Professional. But the old serpent stirred, coiling in my gut. Back in the city, unpacking amid confetti plans, I confronted it, not with accusations, but honesty. The Chris thing. It still nags. Not doubt in you, but in me. Am I enough for this life? Jordan set down a box of ornaments, pulling me to the couch. Enough? You're the spark. There's adrenaline. But you're home. He grabbed his phone, dialing speaker. Chris? It's Jordan. Alex and I are doing the pitch together, team effort. Cool. Chris's laugh crackled through. Perfect. See you both. Jordan winked. No secrets. Ever. Relief bloomed. But January tested us anew. A brutal cold snap gripped the city. Bars swelling with hypothermia cases, vets on grates. Runaways huddled in alleys. Jordan pulled triples. Coming home at dawn with frostbitten toes and stories that chilled deeper than weather. Kid tonight. 16. Kicked out for being gay. Found him in a doorway off Delancey. Core temp 92. Warmed him up. Called his aunt in Jersey, she's queer too. Taking him in. Pride swelled. But so did fear. His exhaustion etched lines around his eyes. Coughs rattling like warnings. You're running on fumes, I said one morning. Brewing tea instead of coffee. Take a day. Can't. Flu surge, vaccines backed up. Stubborn. My hero. That night, he spiked a fever. Collapsing post-shift in the lobby. Paramedics wheeling him to his owner. Bitter as the 4 drip. I sat vigil again. This time in the quiet of his bay. Holding his hand as antibiotics dripped. Iron Man down, I joked weakly when he woke. Groggy but grinning. Blame the eggnog, he rasped. But in the hush, he confessed, scared me. Alex. Thought. What if I don't wake up? Who holds you then? You do, I whispered. Kissing his knuckles. Even asleep. We talked then, futures? Adoptions maybe? A house in the Hudson Valley with a yard for rescue dogs. Dreams spun fragile as snowflakes. He recovered. Back to shifts by Valentine's. But the scare lingered. A reminder of fragility. We celebrated low-key, rooftop at our building. City lights sprawling like diamonds. Chocolate-dipped strawberries and a playlist of our songs. George Michael crooning, careless whisper, ironic now. Midway through, Jordan dropped to one knee, not proposal, but a vow, a silver bracelet, engraved heartbeat, clasped around my wrist. For the times I'm gone. Feel this, it's me. Always. Tears blurred the skyline. My kiss answer enough. But romance's glow dimmed come March. When betrayal's shadow returned, not from Chris, but deeper. The package arrived at the firm, anonymous. Manila envelope stuffed with printouts. Screenshots, Jordan's Grindr profile. Active 6 months back. Chats with faceless torsos. Hey doc. Up for stress relief. And worst, a hotel receipt from the ace. Time-stamped our anniversary weekend last year. When he'd covered for a friend. My world fractured. The bracelet burned on my skin as I cabbed home. Envelope clutched like evidence in a trial. Jordan was cooking, pasta sauce simmering. Jazz on the radio, a domestic scene shattered by my entrance. What the fuck is this? I hurled the papers. Voice a stranger's snarl. He scanned them. Face ashen. Alex. Shit. It's old. Before we. Liar. The receipt. Exact date I'd waited alone at dinner. Toasting to us with a bottle of Pinot. Anniversary. Jord. While I sat like an idiot. Furious. But I recoiled. It was one night. Panic, residency stress. Feeling like a fraud in Scrubs and this relationship. Ghosted the guy after. I've been clean since. Clean. The word twisted. Venomous. Like I'm a habit to kick? Heartless doesn't cover it. This is cruel. I grab my keys, storming into the night, rain mirroring the torrent inside. Wandered the promenade, Manhattan's lights mocking across the river. Thoughts a cyclone, love or lie, hero or hypocrite. Dawn found me at Sarah's, crashing on her futon, phone silenced. She brewed coffee. No questions, just presence. Men are puzzles. But you're the masterpiece. By noon, Jordan's texts pleaded, location shares. Please. Took. I met him at the pier. Wind whipping our coats. His eyes bloodshot from no sleep. It's true, he admitted. Voice raw. I fucked up. Terrified of failing you. Of the happily ever after, when my days end in body bags. Thought one slip would. Stupid. Selfish. Tears tracked his cheeks. But you're my everything, Alex. No more hiding. Delete the app. Therapy solo 2. If you'll have me. The conflict raged, hurt screaming run. Heart whispering stay. I called you heartless once, I said finally. Voice cracking. But this. It breaks me. He nodded. Offering his phone, deleted profile. History wiped. Vulnerability. Weaponized. I forgive, I whispered. Not fully. But enough. But rebuild it. All of it. We walked home hand in hand. Tentative. The city a witness to second chances. Spring unfurled tentative cherry blossoms in the garden. Our dates laced with caution. He kept promises, app gone. Sessions logged. Nights where he'd bare his soul over takeout. Fears of burnout and fatherhood unpacked. I leaned in, designing for his hospital's pride campaign. Our worlds merging. Yet the scar ached. A bike hitch edge to our romance. May brought the high, his promotion to attending. Champagne toasts at a rooftop bash where he pulled me aside. Whispering, marry me? Not now. But soon. Joy surged. But June tested, a patient suicide. Jordan unraveling. Our bed a war zone of blame and booze. You're drinking again, I accused one night. Bottle clinking accusatory. To numb, he shot back. You think it's easy? Loving through this. The fight escalated. Words weapons, maybe it's not. I yelled. Storming out. Alone in the park. Under stars indifferent. I realized, love's not linear. A climb or crash. But a dance with shadows. I returned at midnight. Finding him on the fire escape. Head in hands. I'm in, I said. Joining him. All the way. Message. Broken us. He pulled me close. Sobs mingling. Me too. Summer peaked in heat waves and healing. Our bond tempered like steel. A beach weekend in the Hamptons, borrowed from Sarah, waves crashing as we skinny dipped. Laughter free. Under meteor showers. He proposed proper, ring simple. Platinum with a heartbeat engraving. Says, Alex. To the chaos. This is the us. Yes, I breathed. Sealing it with salt-kissed kisses. But climax brewed in September. Autumn's hush belying the storm. Jordan's ER hit crisis. A shooting spree at a queer youth center in Hell's Kitchen. Bullets riddling walls where kids danced to escape hate. He operated for 18 hours straight, extracting shrapnel from a teen named Kai, trans boy. My age when I came out? Fighting for breath. Jordan came home at dawn. Collapsing. Whispering Kai's name like a curse. He made it. Barely. But the toll, nightmares. Hands shaking during checkups. I held him through it. Our engagement a beacon. Yet betrayals echo surfaced. Anonymous email, more screenshots. Jordan at a bar with a colleague, arms linked. Forged? Brute? Doubt clawed. Confrontation in our kitchen. Coffee cold. Again. But he swore. Showing alibis, shift logs. Witnesses. It was a troll. Some bitter expatience revenge. Traced to a blocked IP. The scare galvanized us. Police report filed. Security upped. In the aftermath, love deepened. Human and raw, we volunteered at the center. Me designing murals of resilience. Him teaching first aid. October's leaves turned, mirroring our renewal. Halloween at Stonewall, costumed as superheroes. Ironic nods to his cape, we danced till closing. Bodies pressed in the crowd. Alive. November brought Thanksgiving. My folks visiting, awkward at first. Dad's handshake stiff. Mom's pie burned, but Jordan's charm won them. Toast to family. Found and fought for. They left hugging. A bridge mended. Winter circled back. But softer now. September. Our wedding small, rooftop vows under twinkling lights. Sarah officiating. Kai as ring bearer, scarred but smiling. I do, we echoed. Rings exchanged. Hearts synced. Yet the stories end whispered by kitsch truth. Love saves, but doesn't erase. Jordan's shifts still haunted. My doubts flickered in quiet moments. But we chose daily, the ER's call. The canvas's pull, human. Enduring. In the ER that first flatline night, I'd seen his soul. But years on, with rings glinting under or lights as I wait post-shift. I know, Heartless? Never. He saves lives, mine included. The wedding reception spilled into the street. Fairy lights strung between brownstones like captured stars. Laughter bubbling over clinking glasses of Prosecco. Jordan and I swayed to, at last, on a makeshift dance floor, our stoop, his hand firm at my waist. My head on his shoulder. The city hum a serenade. Kai, all of 17 now, twirled with a nurse who'd become his big sister figure. His grin defiant against the fade of scars. My folks lingered by the punch bowl. Dad clapping Jordan's back with a gruff, welcome to the family. Son, Mom dabbing eyes with a napkin embroidered, Harper Hale. It felt like triumph. This patchwork union, queer joy stitched from American grit, where rainbows flew high but bullets still flew higher. But as confetti swirled in the chill December breeze, my phone vibrated in my pocket, hospital alert. Mass influx from a pile-up on the BQE. Jordan's pager echoed its seconds later, his face shifting from groom glow to grave duty. Go, I murmured, kissing him fierce. Save them. Then come back to us. He lingered, thumb tracing my ring. Always. Then he was gone. Tuxedo jacket flapping like a cape. Into the night. I rallied the party, dancing devolved to stories swapped on folding chairs. Sarah leading a conga line through the hydrant spray turned fountain. By 2 a.m. Stragglers dispersed. Kai crashing on our couch with a blanket fort of pillows. Alone in the loft, I paced. Wedding band a talisman against worry. Scrolling news feeds, 10 injured in chain reaction crash. Icy roads blamed. Dawn crept, gray and unforgiving, before Jordan slipped in, blood-flecked shirt untucked, eyes hollow but holding. 3 critical, he whispered, shedding clothes like sins. But we got him stable. A mom and her twins, car seats saved them. I pulled him to the shower, water scalding away the night's grime. My hands soaping his back as he leaned into me. But hero, I breathed, turning him for a kiss that tasted of mint and mercy. Under the spray, he broke a little, one didn't make it. The shielding the wheel. His last words, voice trailed, but I held him. Murmurs of you tried, a litany against guilt. We emerged to coffee and croissants, Kai stirring to join, his presence a bridge to hope. Thanks for the invite, guys, he said shyly, munching. First wedding where I wasn't hiding. Jordan ruffled his hair. The 3 of us a makeshift family, toasting with mugs to more beginnings. Life post-vows was a rhythm of us, mornings tangled in Egyptian cotton. His alarm a rude cockadoodle at 5 a.m., my freelance days in sunlit studios. Pixel's birthing campaigns for queer nonprofits, evenings where he'd cook, one-pan wonders from TikTok, while I sketched our future, a nursery doodle here, a vineyard honeymoon there. But the ER's shadow lengthened come spring. COVID's embers flaring into a variant surge. Jordan masked up for 16-hour marathons, coming home to Deccan showers and my sanitized hugs. It's like 20 all over, he vented one night, steam fogging the mirror. Intubations till my arms ache, families begging through glass. I nodded, rubbing his shoulders, knots like buried mines. You're their light. And mine. But privately, fear gnawed, his cough returning, dry and persistent, tests clear but vigilance high. April bloomed cruel, Kai relapsed, old wounds infected from a skateboarding wipeout, landing in Jordan's ER. We rushed to his side, me holding his hand through rails, Jordan directing from afar, ethics barring family treatment. Stay strong, kid, he coached via intercom. Voice steady for Kai's sake. He pulled through. Infection quelled. But the scare cracked us. At home, Jordan paced. Whiskey in hand, relapse to old crutch. What if I lose him? Or you? This job. It's a thief. Then we fight, I countered, resting the glass. Together. No solo battles. We argued then. Raw edges bared, my resentment at lonely nights. His guilt over dragging you into this. Climax and shouts. Then silence. Broken by tears and, I'm sorry, us. Therapy resumed. Virtual now. Our dyke doc probing, what's the core wound? For Jordan? The mom's death lingered. A ghost demanding perfection. For me, Tyler's ghost whispered unworthiness. Sessions unearthed it, letters written, unsent, to parents. Role plays of lost patience, catharsis in pixels. Summer healed slow, beach days with Kai. Now interning at the youth center. His sketches rivaling mine, pride parades where we marched arm in arm. Rainbows on floats mirroring our rings. Jordan's cough faded, replaced by laughs at barbecues. His grill mastery earning top husband points. Fall brought harvest, our first anniversary. A weekend in the Catskills. Cabin echoing our pre-wedding escape. We hiked leaf-strewn trails, pausing at overlooks to vow anew, through fevers and flatlines. Nights by the fire. We made love unhurried. Bodies a language of gratitude. His fingers spelling love on my spine. My lips charting his pulse. But conflict simmered. A job offer for me? Remote design lead in Seattle, 6 figures? Creative freedom. It's a fresh start, I pitched over dinner. Nerves jangling. Jordan's fork paused. Eyes shadowed. And us? Long distance in this chaos. Hurt flickered. Old betrayals echo, me leaving. Like Tyler flipped. Not leaving you, I clarified. Us in Seattle, your fellowship transfers approved. Think, friend. Space to breathe. Nights tense. Until a shift's end, saving a hiker airlifted from the Olympics. Echo of our future. Yes, he conceded. Hugging me fierce. Wherever. Excitement built, packing parties. Goodbyes laced with tears. Kai teared up at our farewell bash. You'll visit. Right? Heroes don't ghost. Promise, Jordan vowed. Slipping him a key to our Brooklyn sublet. Crash anytime. Westward ho. The Drive-A Odyssey, roadside motels. Diner pies. Playlists of our anthems. Seattle welcomed with drizzle and evergreens. Our craftsman bungalow a nest of exposed beams and bay views. Jordan's knew we are at Harborview buzzed urban, ferry accidents. Opioid waves, but with mountains for hikes. Sanity's valve. Settling in. Romance reignited, farmers markets for heirloom tomatoes. Sunset sails on the Sound. Where he'd propose again. Impromptu? With a ring pop. Renew. Puffed. Yet drama dogged, Jordan's mentor? A grizzled attending. Outed as pilfering meds, scandal rocking the department. Jordan subpoenaed as witness. They'll paint me complicit, he fretted. Pacing fur floors. Truth wins, I countered. Prepping him for testimony, mock Q&As over wine. Court day dawned stormy. His suit crisp. My hand in his till the doors. Hours later, he emerged exonerated. The thief collared. But drained, felt like betraying a father figure. We decompressed in a tub. Salts from Pike Place. My massages easing tension. Your integrity incarnate, I murmured. And in the afterglow, he confessed a buried fear. What if we have kids? This life suits, too unstable? Then we adapt, I said. Envisioning IVF dreams. Foster first. Like Kai. Winter rains pattered. Mirroring introspection. Christmas cards to Ohio and Brooklyn. A video call with Kai's college news, art school. On scholarship. New Year's. We clinked to roots and wings. Spring surged. My firm thrived. Jordan mentored residents. Our garden bloomed with lavender and love. But Bike Hitch whispered in May. A call from Mount Sinai, old patient. Lila's partner. Terminal. Requesting Jordan's ear. He flew back solo. 3 days of bedside vigils. Returning hollow-eyed. AIDS complication, he shared over tea. Wanted closure, said Lila died loving fierce. Like us. The weight bonded us deeper. Volunteering remotely for queer health lines. Summer solstice. We hiked Rainier. Summit kiss sealing resilience. Fall leaves turned gold as pregnancy news hit, not ours. But Kai's, adopting a sibling pair. Foster to adopt. Uncle duties, he hooped over FaceTime. We jetted east for the holidays. Our bungalow loaned to a friend. Back in Brooklyn's snow. Family swelled, My folk softer. Jordan's Iowa kin zooming in. New Year's Eve. Under fireworks. He pulled me aside. Ready for our chapter? Yes, I breathed. Hand on his heart, steady. Saving. Years blurred. Kai's wedding. Our twins arrival via surrogate. Tiny heartbeats in NICU. Jordan's hands the first to hold. Conflicts came, teen rebellions, job relos, but each a step in the dance. In quiet nights, arm around him as sirens wail distant. I remember the quiz, the ER epiphany. Heartless? He was Bible's dramatic, emotional, right? Human to the core. In America's vast tapestry, our thread, gay, gritty, unbroken. And in that, a happy ever after, not flawless, but fought for, cherished.